who sent a letter. I'm still waiting until Thursday. Now, the tentative schedule for your quiz will be on April, is it Thursday, April 29, okay? April, will that be okay? Because your makeup CA is on May 6, all right? 29, I'm going to set the time. Do you have any other things that will be done on April 29? Anybody? Sapa is there? Sapa?
Again, doctor, I don't get what you said.
All right. Now, as I said earlier, last week I sent an email to everyone asking you to send an email to me if you need a special quiz, because some of you did not take the test last time. Either you were sick or there were some issues. So far, it's only Safa who sent an email to me. Now I'm going to wait because I need to schedule the examination center also. The coverage will be on personality, that current topic, only one, and the test will be on April 29. 2:30, will that be okay with you? Because it will be after your class already. The university stops at around 1:30, so we can actually give you up to 2:30 or Safa, since you are the first one who replied to me, what is your preference on 29? Would you like it to be morning? It will be online.
Doctor, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
Thursday, you have something to do on Thursday?
We have to go to labs.
That will be Thursday next.
Yes.
Okay. Then you do it in the afternoon. Then it will be in the 2:30 anyway, it's around 15 minutes only.
Yes, maybe at
okay, 2:30, but it's Ramadan time. Is there will be okay.
Doctor, why don't you make it afternoon?
What, doctor?
Yeah, that's right. 2:30 in the afternoon. 2 o'clock or 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yes, that's great.
Because I don't know if the students now will send you on a message, because on Thursday we need to go back by buses, so they reach their homes at 3.
All right, okay, then we'll make it 3 o'clock.
Can't you make it at 4:30, 5?
Oh, fine with me. 4 o'clock, it will be okay, right?
I think, yeah. Safa.
But it's Ramadan time, you know.
Yes,
you will be hungry during that time already. 4:30.
I don't know. It's
will that be
Safa
okay?
And the students who are going to do it.
Yes, it's okay, doctor.
Oh, what do you want?
Yes.
Before we'll start the class.
As you like,
yes?
doctor.
Tell me.
I'm not the one.
No. Yeah. I'm very happy that you are replying. I'm speaking in behalf of the students, yes. So I do not know,
Doctor,
because it's only Safa. No. You took the quiz. Not unless you were absent and you were sick. Anyway, I will communicate with you then. Yes.
Doctor?
I think
anybody?
Too.
Yeah, who is talking?
Yeah, me too. I didn't do the quiz because I had a issue with my computer.
Write a letter to me. Maybe at least your parents know also. The SAP already did that. I don't have any issue with that. No, as long as you write a letter, then you take the quiz. Okay.
Yeah, I will try today and send you.
So Dima also. I have now 2, Safa and Dima. All right. Anybody else? So I'll communicate to you privately later on, but the topic will be on personality, and it will be on Thursday next week. Okay, that will be next week, 29. I will communicate to you separately. It will be on mine, Whether it will be in the morning or in the afternoon, we'll try to decide eventually. Okay? But for sure, it will be Thursday. Yes. The time, we have to decide if I'm going to confirm. I prepare it in the morning because you will still be during the time. But in the afternoon, it's up to you also. So we'll discuss after that, no? Anyway, we'll proceed now discussing any question. By the way, for your CA, it will be on May 5, May 6. So I'll give you the details also later on, okay? All right, so we'll continue now. As I was discussing, the personality was always, the development of the theories of personality was always attributed to Sigmund Freud. Now, those who came after him either followed his theory, revised his theory, or changed totally his theory. That's why we call this psychologists who came after him as neo-Freudian. Those people who came Sigmund Freud, there were so many. As I was discussing also last time, we have Alfred Adler also. That's actually very important. Now, the concept of Adler is that every person is striving to become superior, right? Everybody would like to become superior. So a healthy striving for superiority also involves concerns for the welfare of others. So we have to look at that. Every single individual, including me, including you, would like to strive that way. So the struggle to become superior will be all throughout your life. Now, psychologically healthy people do have social interest, of course, a sense of belonging, and identification with other people. So they really would like to be with other people, also trying to be what they will be and what they will become, trying to look at differently from others, trying to be superior from others. This is what they are actually doing. Now, in terms of some diseases here, we call that a psychopathology. Now, there could be some personality problems in this case. There will be an involvement on inadequate goals, faulty style of life, and lack of social interest. A person may not go out. A person may look down on themselves. We call that as inferiority complex. And a person may lose cease in life. That's the reason why we call it inadequacy of goals. If you're going to have that, then you have personality disorder. You have conditions that would always be run contradictory to what you are going to become. That is more superior than others. That's the major concept of Adler. All right. Let's move forward now. Now, let's try to look into the learning approach. Now, some psychologists are skeptical about personality in general. Other psychologists may not believe the concept that was formulated by Sigmund Freud. Okay, so they were very skeptical, no? Because the learning approach would always tell that people adapt to a variety of behavioral styles depending on a social context. So people try to adapt, no matter what. Now, what we are talking about personalities, that especially if we are going to look in the context of Sigmund Freud, that personality is already fixed, that cannot be changed. But other psychologists contend that people adapt to the situation. You see? So a lot of people would actually say, that person may not change anymore because that person would like to be alone all the time. But as other psychologists would always suggest, they will adapt. They will be outgoing eventually. It depends on the social context where they are living. You can never be alone. So that's actually one of the ideas that they really would like to emphasize in the development of personality. So they contradict the idea of Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud emphasized that the development of personality is already fixed at the age of 7. Otherwise, it can never be changed. So this is also contradictory to what Sigmund Freud was actually telling. Now, every person exhibits one set of behaviors when we interact with our parents, that's different with our work, and that's different with our friends. So the way we look and the way we deal with other people will be different from one another. At home, you are a different person. In the university, you are a different person. When you are working already, you are a different person in workplace. Because the main idea in sporting your personality is that you have to wear a mask everywhere you go, wherever you go. So adaptation, you adapt, you adjust to a certain condition. So that's the thing. That's why at the beginning, I think I mentioned about mask, no? Wherein you are going to wear a specific mask on specific occasion with different type of people that you are interacting with. Because you learn how to adjust, you learn how to adapt. This is in contradiction to what Sigmund Freud was actually telling. All right, moving forward. So the learning approach relates to specific behaviors to specific experiences, and the experiences from which we learn are those of others in our environment. We tend to adjust. That's what it's actually telling. All right. Now, in terms of gender role, this is psychological aspect of being male or female. You would tend to be macho when you're a male, and you tend to be effeminate when you're female. Okay. Now, there are researches that would suggest that aspects of gender roles are learned also. That's why in other countries, there are people who are cross-dressers. There are people who are, becoming what they seem to be. A male, a born biological male, may actually have an emotion of female, something like that. No, in our culture, it is not tolerated, but in other countries, especially the United States, they are actually tolerated. No, wherein the role could be assigned, the gender role could be assigned, the gender role could be learned. In that case, the enforcement and punishment are given for correct or incorrect gender role behaviors. Yeah, especially if you are belonging to a strict culture where there are only two genders, that's male and female, then if you are actually acting otherwise, reinforcement, especially punishment, can actually be done. Okay? So normally we expect that boys can be observed to imitate man, and girls will learn how to imitate women. Normally, we have to develop based on the genders that we are born with, right? That is what is expected of us. But the concept of learning approach is that you may be otherwise. So in the United States, there is already fight in some universities that girls, biological girls, can be called boys. It depends. They may be addressed as he. It depends on what they want. Because what is the thing that this is the thing that they intend to be. This is the thing that they learn. Something like for me it's absurd, but normally this is accepted in other countries like the United States, wherein some of these transgenderism are actually roles are put into laws also. Moving forward, let us try to look into humanistic psychology. This is the thing that I really would like to emphasize to you. This is very helpful, no? Wherein the humanistic psychology would always deal with values, the belief system, the consciousness, including spirituality, and the guiding principles of living. There are so many well-known humanistic psychologists, like in the case of Abraham Maslow, like in the case of Carl Jung and others. Also. These are the people who studied how individuals become successful because they tend to humanize human experiences, including spirituality, consciousness, and how to be a good person. That is the thing, no? Now, personality depends on what people believe. They really would like to stick to that and how they perceive and understand the world. You have your own perception on what and how your world will become. This is the meaning of humanistic psychology. We tend to humanize individual experiences, including negative experiences, painful experiences, among others. Okay, so we move forward. Now, in humanistic psychology, the people will see good people as good. Sometimes other people will say, normally people are bad. But in humanistic psychology, we always view otherwise. We always view as human beings to be essentially good. There is a goodness in every one of us. This contrasts with more what we call as a morally neutral behaviorism that I actually explored earlier, that was founded by John Watson, no? And the essentially negative view of human nature in psychoanalytic perspective expounded by Sigmund Freud. Basically, this is what I want, no? In humanistic psychology, we really would like to see the goodness of every single person around us. Criminals are also good one way or another among us. It doesn't mean to say that when you did a crime, you're already bad all throughout. It is not like that. There is something that is inside you that could actually be otherwise be branded as good. That is the thing. All right. Moving forward, humanistic psychologists would always reject determinism, reduction, and the theories of behaviorism, where it would always tell that human beings tend to be doing bad things. Now, humanistic psychologists would deny simple cause and effect, the process of behavior, no? They view the person as a whole entity. We have to look at that. Now, this is very important also in counseling. So, Carl Rogers developed a very self-centered, person-centered counseling. We have to look at the totality of a person, not only the acts that he committed. We cannot dichotomize, we cannot compartmentalize people. We have to look at people in all facets. If we are going to have friends, we have to look the totality of that friend, not only to magnify the bad things or the good things. We have to look the totality of that person. After all, we will assume that in humanistic psychology, we believe that human beings are essentially good. They tend to be good all the time. All right? So, moving forward, humanistic psychologists study the peak experiences, the successful people. Now, remember, if you're going to look into Abraham Maslow's pyramid, no? Hierarchy of needs, the highest echelon or the hierarchy of needs will be self-actualization, where a person will be at their peak, your peak experiences. You are high. This is the moments in life when you feel truly fulfilled or content. You do not need other things. You do not need money. You do not need security, because you and your personal experiences would always actually tell you that you are accomplished and you enjoy what is supposed to be there. And you are not asking for more anymore. You are not bothered anymore because you are enjoying what you are enjoying and what you are doing. You're already on your peak experience. That is every single person's dream. After becoming a dentist, what? After becoming a psychologist, what? We keep on working. Whereas at one way or another, at one point, we're always telling ourselves we have to do things that we love. So I can always assume that I'm very happy right now. I'm on the peak of experience right now because I do what I want to do. That is the thing. So research is usually qualitative in form, recording narratives and anecdotes about how people behave and think. So many of humanistic psychologists study successful people, very good people. There are so many, especially in the United States and other artists. They're not going to look in your negative things. They're going to look into how you became successful. That is the thing. All right. So in continuation, humanistic psychology brought Carl Rogers, because Carl Rogers is one of the founders of the humanistic psychology. No, he believed that human being is essentially good. By nature, we are essentially good, and every person is striving toward self-realization. No, we really would like to achieve our peak, like in the case of the hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow. Abraham Maslow is a co-founder of humanistic psychology. Anyway, the self-actualization drive is the one that drives or forces in order to do things that we would like to do. This is the driving force that human being will actually be driven at, no? It's being dictated, all the actions of human person is dictated by your drive to have self-actualization. Okay? Now, Rogers' main concept believe that children develop a self-concept. You should have a very good self-image. You should know what you're doing. You should know you are. You should know what you're capable of. And you should know the person that you can be. And of course, any person may develop the ideal self, the one that you want to become, because this is the thing that you are striving to get. The ideal self, because at all times, sometimes we will never be perfect that we would like to be. But at least we have an ideal self that we would like to achieve. That is very important in humanistic psychology. What is an ideal self? This is an image of what you would like to be. This is a thing that you are projecting about yourself. And every person is trying to do that. If you try to be kind, you project to be kind. If you try to be fierce, you project to be fierce. Now, in this model, the psychological distress comes from the mismatch perceived between the self-concept and the ideal self. You see, the ideal self is the one that you project, and the self-concept is the one that you think you are right now. You see? So there is a distress whenever there is a disconnect between what you are perceiving yourself now with what you idealize yourselves to be. So there is a disconnect, so you develop psychological distress. This is in similar way with what we develop in the conflict of id and superego in the context of Sigmund Freud. You develop anxiety, no? But in the case of humanistic psychology, there is a disconnect between ideal self and the self-concept. So a person may develop psychological distress in that matter. So this is exactly what we really would like to address whenever we address counseling. So eventually, next topic I'm going to tackle, we're going to tackle your counseling technique by Carl Rogers. It's very helpful and it's very important. It's a person-centered counseling, right? Because we are going to look into the totality of a human being, the totality of a person as a whole. Okay? Now, Rogers believed that human welfare was best served when people related in an atmosphere of unconditional positive regard. What is this? This is the acceptance of the person as he or she is. No if, no buts, but what you are, but who he is. This is unconditional acceptance. You see? Some of the problems are addressed sometimes, we experience this all the time. I love you if. I'm going to accept you if you change. That is not what we would like to have in the context of humanistic psychology. I love you because of what you are. I accept you because of whoever you are. There is no need to ask someone to change. You just accept the totality and the truth of that person as a whole. Right there and then. His current form. That is the thing that we should actually look into. Now, a lot of people are actually accepting other people because they really would like them to change. The conditional acceptance. Now, this is what we do not want to learn in psychology. Now, I really am teaching you in psychology on how to accept unconditionally other people. We are going to look into different perspective. Remember, 5 years from now, you are going to be a dentist. You will never choose who will your patient be. There are patients who are impossible. There are patients who are very difficult to deal with. But you cannot just drive them away. You have to accept whoever they are and whatever they are. You have to do that. Your friends are friends that you can change. Nevertheless, you accept them of who they are. This is what we really would like you to have as students and professionals to be, dentists to be. Now, in humanistic psychology, emphasize on what we consider as conditional positive regard, no, in relationship, no. What is this? If the person is held in esteem only when fulfilling certain requirements set for them by others, no. So this is the thing that we really would like to shoot out. This is the thing that we do not want to have conditional positive regard. You see? Because we view that a person is good by all means. Therefore, there should be no condition. Everybody must be looked into high esteem, into positive regard. But as we know, a lot of people are actually doing conditional positive regard. I look at you, I accept you if and if and if. You see, there will always be condition. This is the thing that I was explaining a while ago. No? And we do not want to do that in humanistic psychology. Humanistic psychologists do not believe in this. But instead, humanistic psychologists would always believe on the goodness of every person. Therefore, always we look into an individual in a positive esteem and positive regard in high esteem. Okay? So we cannot prejudge. We do not have prejudice. We always look at a human being as a very good human being, not the other way around. This is what I like in humanistic psychology. You see? Moving forward, a founder, a traditional founder of humanistic psychology is Abraham Maslow. Everybody knows his work, no? Now, Abraham Maslow proposed that people have an hierarchy of needs, that the highest need of this is the need to become self-actualized. We try to achieve that. As long as we are alive, we try to achieve that. But of course, remember, there is disparity between the lowest and the highest need of man. The lowest is pertaining to survival, physiological needs, biological needs. But on the other hand, as you go on the higher level and achieving the fifth level, the self-actualization, see, wherein you are not created anymore, you do not care anymore about your physiological and biological needs because you believe that you could easily achieve them, you could easily have them. So the main purpose right now is that you can actually do whatever you want to do, the things that you enjoy most. A lot of people, particularly artists, will do what they want to do, becoming an artist, although a lot of people will actually think that becoming an artist will not give you money or food on the table. But who cares? You do not look into physiological needs anymore because as you try to practice self-actualization, you intend to enjoy what you are doing. Now, Abraham Maslow listed the characteristics of self-actualized people based on those who, in his opinion, had achieved that state. There are so many presidents of the United States that he actually enumerated. Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, among others. Okay? So, now, these are some of the characteristics of self-actualized person according to Abraham Maslow. They have ability to perceive reality accurately. They know what's going on. They accept what's going on. They do not want to sugarcoat what they see, what they believe, and what they perceive. What you get, what you see is what you get. This is what they believe in, and they have open heart, open arms, accept whatever is actually going to happen to them. And a person with very good self-actualization are independent, they are very spontaneous, and they are very creative. They treat others with unconditional positive regard. That means to say, they look others in positive regard, in positive way, right? They are devoid of prejudice, no prejudice at all. Even though you're a criminal, you killed people, you are a thief, you are a drug addict, they don't mind that. They are going to treat you as a human being, as a person who is inherently good. That is what we believe in humanistic psychology. All right. So moving forward, humanistic psychology will always emphasize on the outlook that emphasizes problem solving. We look into the solutions of every problem because we believe that when there is a problem, there is a solution. And after that, of course, enjoy life. We are not born in this world. This is in contradiction with the existentialism, no? Existential psychologists, no? In existential psychology, they're always looking into negative things. And of course, trying to find meaning in a negative experience that we have. In humanistic psychology, they enjoy life. They have a very good sense of humor, right? Now, all these lists may not be scientific at all, but these are the characteristics that otherwise are enumerated by Abraham Maslow, which somehow could be true if you observe people who are really self-actualized, right? So moving forward, personality theory, in this case, raised fascinating questions that do not seem easily answerable because there are so many. So in that case, we try to explain the type of person that they are interacting with, that we are interacting with, and there are so many explanations. So if we are going to follow specific psychologists, somehow we have some anchor, but a lot of people may not understood or may not understand or may not know what other psychologists are actually trying to explain to them. So they have a little difficulty in understanding other people. Now, researchers are working on small aspects of these questions in hopes of eventually synthesizing an accurate big picture of who we really are. You see, strange as we used to be, human beings are unfathomable, cannot be understood, cannot be influenced, cannot be understood. No? We are basically difficult to understand because we are unpredictable. Now that's why in personality psychology, we are trying to explain all the facets of human personality so that we try to explain and attempt to understand every single person that we will deal with. Okay, so these are some of the approaches that we should know in understanding personality or in the study of personality. There are actually two. No, the first one is a numeric approach that by general laws describing aspects of personality that is influencing the behavior. We're going to look into general rules ascribing or describing the aspects of personality. If we really would like to understand the personality of people that we interact with, we have to look into laws because there are laws. There are theories governing our understanding on the personality of other people, like following every single way, every single step of the way of the people who came after us or before us, like in the case of Sigmund Freud, theories of personality in terms of the different stages of his human development. We have also Erik Erikson. No, the other approach is what we call as hagiographic approach. It will use the intensive studies of individuals. We have to look into individual similarities and differences, but we do not produce conclusions that apply generally to people because generally otherwise people are unpredictable and cannot be compared with because we are unique in any way. In every single term, we are unique. We can always be different from any other person. I am not what my father is. You see, that means I am different from my father. I am different from my brother. I am different from my twins. I am different from anybody else. So comparing individual me bring us to nothing. It will be difficult, no? In any way. Although, in order to understand other people, we try to form an opinion by looking into the studies of individuals, look into individuals, what they are and what they're capable of. All right. So, any questions so far? Everybody follows, no?
Yeah, doctor.
Yeah, another very important trait, another very important explanation of personality is the trait theory. Very, very important, no? So, accordingly, we explain our personality in terms of trait. There is what we call as cardinal traits. There is what we call as traits that are inherent in us, and traits that are being influenced by other people. No, so trait. Let's see. These are consistent, long-lasting behavioral tendency like sociability, shyness, or assertiveness. These are the characteristics that are inherent in us. See? A lot of people view you as a different person, as if you are a lovely person, a lovely kid, a lovely student. So what made them think so? Because you have been consistently showing that you interact with them, you do always good things. These are inherent characteristics that are often observed by other people that we display also. Okay, over time we develop this. And there is another term which we call state. State is temporary in nature, wherein state is a temporary activation of a particular behavior. Sometimes it tend to be fierce, and people will be surprised because you are not what your trait is. That means, hey, even though you are a sweet lady, a sweet girl, a good boy, a good girl, at one point you can easily get angry with also. So this is the thing that is becoming state that's temporary because of some intervening events. This becomes temporary because it is activated by the experiences that you have on that particular moment. It will become. It will not be a part of you. It will be different. It will not be considered as a part of your trait. Traits are otherwise permanent. Traits are otherwise there, very significantly observed by other people that you display. State is just temporary. Sometimes we have to view criminals like that also. Maybe at a pit of anger, criminals could have killed people already. So that's the thing, no? At a spur of a moment. So, although essentially, that's why they could not believe. Why is it that a person becomes a criminal? But all throughout, he lives a very good life. He's loving. He is a loving person. He's very useful in the society. But how come he did some act that could otherwise be detrimental to the trait that we view about him? So that's what we call state, because there is a temporary activation of what it should not be. Now, the search for broad personality traits. Somewhat, a lot of psychologists are agreeing that they really would like to find out what would make other people tick. No? So we are going to look into very consistent characteristics that can be measured and studied. No? That's why we are going to look into the group of people. Well, we'll try to look at the trait of other people. The trait of Filipinos, somewhat the trait of Palestinians, the trait of locals. So these are always inherent with our lifestyle, with our life, with our practices. No? Many familiar personality traits have been studied. Like for instance, no, inherent in us as Filipinos to be helpful in any way possible. So wherever you find Filipinos, they're very helpful because these are all included in what we intend to be and what we would like to be, because these are embedded in whoever we are and whatever we are. So that's actually the reality of it. All right. So moving forward, in psychology also, there is what we call as the big 5 personality traits. We have to look at that now. Through factor analysis, a technique to determine the traits that correlate most strongly with each other. These are the 5 groups of related traits that were identified when we study individuals who otherwise are very effective in the society. We have number 1, neuroticism, something like the tendency to become neurotic or the tendency to become anxious every day, to become problematic. A tendency of every person to be outgoing, that's extroversion. A tendency of the person to conform, that's agreeableness, conscientious, and of course, openness to experiences. These are the 5 traits that we have in big 5 traits, personality traits. So of course, there are always negative sides, no? Like in the case of neuroticism, no? So the big 5 personality traits, that's called neuroticism. What do we have here? Neuroticism is your tendency to experience unpleasant emotions very easily. See? You tend to worry a lot. You tend to be fearful a lot. So it's otherwise negative. That will influence your behavior. Yeah? So another one, of course, is extraversion. What do we have here? This is your tendency to seek stimulation and enjoy the company of other people. Every person, even though how loner you become, there is always a tendency and longing to interact with other people. This time it's no longer a longing. This is a necessity. Either you're actually going to talk to them personally, interact to them personally, or digitally. So it's very easy to become extroverted this time. No? That's why if you're going to observe other people, every second you check their WhatsApp messages, their Facebook messages, among others. They check their phone. Really? That's a very clear indication that we are by all means extrovert. Extraversion is our tendency to seek stimulation and enjoy the company of other people because we cannot live alone. We cannot survive alone. So that's the thing, our tendency to be connected. The third one, of course, is what we call as agreeableness. No? Our tendency to be compassionate, to love other people, rather than antagonistic towards others. And there are so many people who are very antagonistic. You know the meaning of antagonistic? That's why a lot of people, I'm actually telling this to my students, there are people, even though they are your first encounter, you encountered them first, you tend to love them already. And there are people that you tend to hate. This is the thing, antagonism. We can actually generate antagonistic feeling of other people, you see. We can always catch other people off guard, including us, no? This is our tendency to become negative at all costs with other people. Like sometimes we do not believe them, like sometimes we hate them. And this is our tendency also to be compassionate, especially when we are already in 4th or 5th level of Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. No? Search for self-esteem, that's the 4th. Self-actualization, that's the 5th. Okay? Love and belonging, of course, is actually number 3. All right. So another one, of course, is conscientiousness. Conscientiousness is the tendency to show self-discipline, right? To be reliable and to strive for competence and achievements. You really would like to do things. You really would like to create things. You would like to achieve things. Your tendency to become reliable. When you say it, you do it. My word is my bond. See, whatever I say, I'm going to do it. It's your reliability. And of course, every single day, you strive for competence and achievement. This is a part of trait that we have that dictates who we are and what we are. Okay? Then, of course, lastly, our traits, which we call openness to new experience. We need to be very open, especially right now. No? There are so many experiences that are actually coming to us. And sometimes we do not know what we would like them to be. Now, openness to experience refers to your tendency to enjoy new experience and new ideas. Always, no? That's why you go to the movie to experience the movie. You read books because you would like to experience what is written in the book. This is our new experience. That this is our openness to new experiences that we would like to enjoy. No? So this is the thing. We are in constant search for that. That's why you really would like to go places. You really would like to go on strange places, on the places that you have not gone so far. You would like to experience those things. No? In that case, it's true. It's inherent in us. No? Our curiosity, what is in there? See? What you really would like to experience that. When you go to another country, you would like to experience that. Okay? So that's why every single person is looking into this openness to new experiences. Okay. So far, so good. I think we are on time. So let's see now. And of course, the big personality trait would not always be positive after all, because there are so many psychologists who criticize that. No, the basis of criticisms are actually very valid. No, I'm just going to give you some. Now, the big five description or the big personality traits was based on the study of the English language. What about other languages? Not on the observations of human behaviors. See, there are few traits that are included. In that case, we have 5. That may not always qualify to be generalizing the traits of other people. It will not represent the tendency of other people to, to have these characteristics. There are too many traits that are included, yes, and it has limited applicability to other cultures. Maybe this is different, no? Maybe it was not acceptable, it was not considered in other culture. All right. So moving forward, anyway, I think I'm going to tackle this by Thursday already. So I'll finish this lecture by Thursday, so that by Monday we can start by Wednesday, so that by Monday we can start with our new topic on counseling. So we are still in time. No, there is plenty of time. I can still finish 3 more good topics. I am dwelling so much in personality because this is the main topic that I would like you to have, at least, no? Because basically we're trying to learn psychology because we would like to understand other people. We would like to understand patients. Patients are people. Patients are human beings. As I was mentioning, in the context of humanistic psychology, we tend to look into the goodness of every single person that comes across us. The moment we believe in that, then everything is good, because you keep everyone in positive regard, among others. Is there any clarification? Is there any question that you would like to give or you would like to ask? Class? Any question?
No, doctor, I don't have any questions.
Very good. Yeah, that's what. Dima, Safa, please try to tell others to write. Dima will wait for your letter also. Try to other people also to write before Thursday, okay? Because I need to schedule with the examination center your quiz. Your quiz is about personality, and that will be done next Thursday. The time I'm going to announce, okay? Since you have no question, then we call it a day. Thank you so much and have a good day.